All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something that sounds simple, but is actually, well, life-changing. It's the idea that a life of service can totally transform you. It's not just about what you do for the world, but what doing it does to you. So let's dig in.
Okay, so check this out. This quote is from a personal vlog series we stumbled upon, and it's a heck of a claim. I mean, the results shocked me. You gotta wonder, right? This person decided to try living a life of radical service for a whole month and vlog the entire thing. The real question is, what could possibly be so shocking?
And that really gets to the heart of what we're exploring today. When you hear radical service, what do you even picture? Is it some huge dramatic gesture, or is it something quieter, something any of us could actually do? This personal experiment is the perfect place for us to start unpacking that.
So, first up, let's look at this 30-day challenge. You can pretty much think of it as a modern-day experiment in radical empathy. It's a deep dive, really, into what happens when you decide, on purpose, to put other people first for a month straight.
And this wasn't just some vague idea of, oh, I'm going to be a nice person. No, it was super concrete. We're talking about daily specific actions. Things like actually showing up to volunteer at a shelter, or leaving little anonymous gifts for strangers, and even taking the time to mentor someone who needed guidance. These were real, tangible things that made the concept of service an action, not just a word.
Now, obviously, doing all this stuff had an impact on the people being served. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. The real shock, the big surprise from this whole experiment wasn't what happened to others. It was what happened to the person doing the serving. The results they never saw coming were the ones happening internally.
Yeah, according to the vlog, the most profound transformation wasn't anything you could see on the outside. It was a complete internal shift, a whole new perspective on life. Suddenly there was this new sense of purpose, a much deeper connection to the community, and, get this, a surprising spike in their own happiness. It turned out serving other people was actually an incredible act of self-discovery.
And this is where we pivot, because what we have here is just fascinating. On one hand, you've got this modern 30-day personal challenge. But on the other hand, you have an ancient blueprint that laid out this exact idea thousands of years ago. See, this modern experiment didn't invent anything new. It was really just rediscovering something incredibly old.
So let's go there. Let's look at that blueprint. The source material for this all points back to one specific story in the book of John, chapter 13. It's held up as maybe the ultimate example of what it means to lead by serving. And it all revolves around one simple but totally profound action. Okay, so you have to understand the context here. Back then, washing someone's feet, that was the job of the lowest person on the totem pole, the servant of the servant. So for a leader, a teacher like Jesus, to get down on his knees and do this for his followers, it was a complete, shocking reversal of how things are supposed to work. It was a physical statement that real leadership, real greatness, isn't about having people serve you, it's about you serving them. Just a radical act of humility.
But look, this isn't just some old story from a history book. The whole reason this idea is so powerful is because it translates perfectly to our world today. This principle of washing feet, well, you see it happening all around us, usually in quiet ways we don't even recognize.
I mean, think about it for a second. Who are the modern-day feet washers? They're the healthcare workers tending to the sick. They're the family members who dedicate their lives to caring for a loved one. They're the volunteers out there serving meals to the unhoused. And yeah, the mentors and community leaders who pour their time into others. All of them embody this same exact spirit of humble service.
So, after looking at both a modern experiment and an ancient blueprint, what's the big takeaway? Why does this matter for each of us in our own lives? Ultimately, it boils down to this. Humble service is not a one-way street. It doesn't just benefit the person receiving help. As that 30-day challenge showed, it fundamentally reshapes the person who is giving. It builds stronger communities, and it fosters a deeper sense of purpose within ourselves. So, we've seen how a symbolic act of service became a blueprint for centuries. We've seen how just 1 month of trying it out can reshape a person's entire perspective. So we're left with one final thought to chew on. This one act changed history. How could it change your life?